Hard to adjust now, cause you ain't around, no. Do they treat you real nice? How'd you like the new town? Hard to adjust now, cause you ain't around.
Hey guys, welcome back to Culinary Ninja, and today we are going to be making a chocolate buttermilk cake, which I do have a base recipe online on my YouTube channel, and I will leave a link in the description below. We will also be making a peanut butter American buttercream, and I know that you probably know that I dislike American buttercream because it's so easy, but it's so sweet and like overpowering, but it's perfect for peanut butter because it's so fluffy. Like, look at this. It's amazing. So, that'll be that. There's going to be a drizzle of chocolate ganache. There'll be pretzels, Reese's cups, chocolate-covered pretzels. It's going to blow your mind. And I love, like, it's not like a giant Reese's cup. It's basically like a giant combination of chocolate and peanut butter. A little drizzle of ganache on top, pretzels, chocolate-covered pretzels, and Reese's cups and peanuts. This is sure to be a knockout cake, so I hope you love it, and I hope you try it too. Alright guys, to make this cake you will need my buttercream recipe of peanut butter, and you will also need the chocolate cake. So this is the hard part. I'm assuming you know how to get the cake out of the pan, which is honestly pretty easy, which you basically just let it sit in the pan after you let it cool, like I said to, and then just run a knife on the outside to get the edges off, and then just flip it over, and then carefully flip it back over. So basically what I have here is I took the first layer of the cake, and there's 3 of these, and they bake perfectly and they're all circular and I love it. But basically you take a big blob of buttercream and you spread it around. Then take something heavy like a rolling pin or just a saucepan and tap on your pretzels. And you don't want to make them dust, but you do want to make them kind of like shards like I have here. And sprinkle them everywhere, but don't get them on the complete outsides of the cake because you don't want them to ooze out. So leave some space from the edges, but basically just sprinkle it on there. It doesn't. Try and press the pretzels into the buttercream so then you can add the next layer, and be sure to be really careful. Just making sure you know you can also add pretzels in place, peanuts in place of the pretzels, or you can add both of them together. You can have the Reese's cups in the middle. I just decided to do it how this book told me, so I did pretzels in the middle and then all the other toppings are on the top. But basically just put the other layer on and then use a camera like I am to just make sure that they're aligned pretty well, and then do the same step with the peanut butter buttercream, and then add the pretzels or the peanuts or both, or the Reese's cups or all 3, or however you're doing it, or if you want to have a certain order, if you want to have like peanuts on the bottom, pretzels in the middle, and Reese's cups on top, or I don't know how you want to do it. So do it however you want, get creative. Just make sure one step that I didn't do is when you decorate the outside of the cake, wipe off the dirty frosting, which gets for the crumb coat, so then you have the outside really clean. It still looks really good though. Now that we're on to our final layer of cake, just press the 3rd layer on and make sure that everything is nice and straight, and you don't really want to fix anything now, so just make sure it's all parallel as best as it can be. And also at the beginning, it is nice to just stack all 3 of the cakes together without anything in the middle, just to see if you need to carve anything away to make it more straight looking, because you don't want like a big chunk of your cake missing. So basically spread like a lot of your buttercream on the top and spread it down the sides. This is called crumb coating, not creme coating, crumb. I always thought it was creme, it's crumb. And it's basically what you do is you take a lot of frosting, but when you go down the sides it makes a really thin coat, and this will catch all the crumbs. But make sure you have a bowl for just this frosting that's gonna look speckish, so then on the outside you have clean frosting, unlike I did, because I just was lazy. So just make sure that you have other clean frosting, but you basically just wanna like spread it all down, and it will take a little bit of time, especially if you're not used to it like me, so be patient. Now, if you haven't done so already, crush your peanuts either using the saucepan or just something heavy. It can be a rolling pin, can be your fist, but I wouldn't recommend it because they will explode, and I have experience. Actually did it, so you know. Basically just crush these up, not until they're powder, but till they're kind of like almost like a chopped peanut, and this is what it looks like. And basically just put those aside, and now you can work on your ganache. So ganache is actually 1 part cream, 1 part chocolate. You can also have salt, and I'm not going to use salt because you'd have to use a 1/16 of a teaspoon, and I don't have that. So basically just take about a 4 ounces, which is about half a cup of chocolate chips, and then take half a cup of heavy whipping cream and heat the cream in a saucepan until it reaches a stage in which it will have lots of bubbles and almost pretty much boil, and it'll rise up the pan. Once it's at that stage, pour it over a bowl filled with the chocolate and then just leave it alone for 5 minutes and then stir it together and then keep stirring, and it'll form a silky, smooth, rich chocolate ganache, and it is probably something you've had before if you don't really know that name, but you will definitely like it. After your crumb coat has set in the fridge, which should take about 20 minutes or 5 minutes in the freezer, and this will just firm up the frosting if I didn't explain earlier, which I don't think I did. So basically use that frosting that I said would get dirty, and now take the frosting that should be clean but wasn't, and have that, so basically just have like 2 separate bowls and never get them mixed together. So then this will be way easier to ice now, and you won't have crumbs everywhere, and your cake will not tear as badly as it would during the crumb coat. And basically just ice it. There's no real system to this, because especially I don't know. But basically just try to get it on the top and bring it down the sides and try and get everything smooth. It took me about an hour to ice, 30 minutes to ice this whole cake. These are not experienced, but other people it should take about 7 minutes. So it really just depends on how good you are and how much you've done this, but I really don't do this that much, and this cake tore so much, it was so annoying. But that's just because I made this incorrectly. So if you follow the directions on my channel, this cake should turn out like good, and it shouldn't tear as much as mine did. But basically, that's also because it was really hot that day and everything just went wrong. Basically, just ice this using a big spatula. It's an offset. It's rated an offset spatula, and just when you're going on the top, pull it in like this, and just kind of ice it. I don't really know how to explain this to you, except try to get it everywhere, make it even, and make it look good. That's pretty much all I can tell you.
How'd you like a new tone?
Now with your warm but not okay. Now with your hot but not cold, because then it'll set ganache, put it into a piping bag and make kind of like a drizzle design. I've never done this before. I've seen it on cakes before. I don't really know how to do it. I just kind of went back and forth and made like the star design, which you can see at the beginning of the video when you have like a upper view of the cake. Now either using all of your mini pretzels or your chocolate covered pretzels, go on the outside of the cake and make a kind of like a ring, I guess you could say. And you'll easily be able to see this next, but basically what it is like you have all these pretzels that are right next to each other. You don't want to press them in too much, and the cake and the frosting needs to be like not sopping wet, because then it would like melt off, but it can't be cold because then the pretzels won't stick. So just basically don't put the cake in the fridge after you crumb coat it. And now is the part where you can get really creative. I just took a piping bag and made rosettes, and I took a biscuit cutter and put it in the middle, so then I know how much space to leave for the rosette in the middle. But basically, I just had like a ring of peanuts around the place where the big rosette will be, and then I had some Reese's cups on top of each little rosette on the outside, and I just basically did it systematically, and that's how you want to do a cake. But you can make it look however you want, design it however you want, make it taste however you want. You can add more ganache to the top because you probably will have extra, because that's just a little bit of a drizzle. And that's pretty much it. Just use it however you want and make it however you want. But if you want to look at mine carefully, study the beginning images at the beginning of this video, and that'll help you get an idea for maybe what you want to do. But I just did a ring of pretzels, some rosettes with Reese's cups on them, Reese's cups scattered everywhere, and like a big pretzel in the middle, and the pretzels on the outside and in the middle of the cake.